Matthew chapter 2, 16 and 18. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeded wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all courts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was a prophet that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and a great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not. As a result of this, Matthew saw the wailing of the mother of Bethlehem, who had lost children, as compared to the mourning of Jacob's wife Rachel, and at the same time saw the purpose of Jeremiah 31 as a purpose fulfilled. In Ramah was their voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and will not be comforted, because they are not. This is what Jeremiah said. He watched Judah and Israel died and were taken captive by the invasion of Babylon and Syria respectively. Here, Ramah is the place where the captives of Judah and Israel were gathered, and is a local name that symbolizes all of God's people, Israel. Rachel, the mother of Judah and Israel, is also a symbol of Israel, including Judah and Israel. In the Old Testament period, Ramah was located on the border between Israel and the kingdom of Judah. 1 Kings chapter 15 and verse 17. Ramah was located 8 kilometers north of Jerusalem, where foreign conquistadors gathered to transport the defeated crowded distant place. This position made Ramah the name of both kingdoms simultaneously. Rachel, like the name of Ramah, can also be a representative name for both countries, because she gave birth to Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph's 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, belonged to North Israel, and North Israel was called the nation of Ephraim. Therefore, Rachel can be said to be the mother of North Israel. He was also mother of Judah, because he gave birth to Benjamin, who became one of the 2 tribes of Judah. In 31:15, Jeremiah described Rachel as a mother of Israel still alive. Rachel was looking at her miserable children who had been disciplined by God because of their sin and were gathered in Ramah. Rachel, who was listening to the cries of the crowd, cried herself. Rachel was very sad and weeping because of her children, so many want. First, his eldest son Israel was taken captive to Assyria. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 8 and 9. And then his little son Judah was taken to Babylon. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 17 and 20. When Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel embarrassed her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. Rachel, longing to have children, now had to witness that the children he gave birth to were terribly killed, and the remaining children to be taken to another country. The power of the world, Assyria, Babylon, took the most precious things from her. Rachel's cries for her child described in the parable as the mother of Israel, can be applied to three different situations. First, Jacob's wife, the real person, Rachel, had no children at birth. In addition, although it was after Rachel's death, Rachel's two sons, Joseph and Benjamin, died. Second, Judah was slaughtered and captured. Third, because the baby of Bethlehem was slaughtered. But God was preparing comfort for Rachel. The context can also be explained in three ways. First, because Rachel, who had no children, would get Joseph and Benjamin. And because she will return to the lost Joseph and Benjamin. Second, because the captives who are taken to Babylon will return again. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 and 34. Third, because the time of suffering and curse will end because of Jesus, and the kingdom of God will come. Jeremiah 31, quoted by Matthew, is comforting. If you take a longer look at the word comfort, it is both Israel and Judah. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 27, 31, 14. God truly loves His people with great love and will gather them again from the nation. Therefore, Rachel will stop crying. God would make the new covenant with His people, forgiving their sin, and never remember them again. The remnant would return. The purpose of their return, however, was to make a righteous branch of David. Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 14 and 15. It was that one of Light's branches, Jesus Christ, who practiced just and justice on this earth. Jeremiah compared Rachel's cry for her childlessness and the loss of her children, the loss of Joseph and Benjamin, that Israel was slaughtered and taken captive by Assyria and Babylon for their crime. And Matthew compared Bethlehem's mother to the loss and weeping of the children by Herod's slaughter, and the escape of baby Jesus to the distant Egypt by Rachel's children, the Israel slaughter, and captured by Assyria and Babylon. Thus said the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and a bitter weeping. Rahel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children, because they were not. Thus said the Lord, refrain thy voice from the weeping, and thine eyes from tears. From thy work shall be a reward, says the Lord, and they shall come again from the land of the enemy. And there is a hope in their end, said the Lord, that thy children shall come again their own born. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 15 and 17. Matthew quoted here because the word of comfort for the remnant of the Lord's people will surely be fulfilled for the birth of Jesus, when we picture this scene at the time of the second coming of Jesus. Pharaoh and Herod represent the Antichrist in Revelation, and you can see that all who have not received his mark are all to be killed.